All right, roll up a joint, keep the beat on point. You're listening to the Stoner Bros podcast. All right, and we got our guest here with us, Ethan.
What up?
All right, and
It's John and
Alec.
all right, boys, fuck, marry, kill. Are you ready? Lou Bega, George Zimmerman, or Walt Disney? Go.
Okay, who the fuck is Lou Bega?
Lou Bega's the guy who did Mambo No. 5.
Just the song?
A little bit of Erica and
I don't even know what he looks like.
Oh, he's
Okay, all right.
he's a
I'm getting an
he's a Latin American.
I know
Alright.
one thing for sure is that I'm getting an intimate fuck session with Walt Disney.
I don't. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna kill Walt Disney just because he hated Jewish.
You're not gonna kill George Zimmerman?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know, man.
You see, George really stuck it out through the trial, and because he has
He
so
stood
much,
his ground.
hold on, because he has so much stamina, I feel like he'd be a good fuck.
Stamina. What is the stamina?
Legal
where
stamina,
did he go?
physical
Okay.
stamina.
That is not the word I would consider when I think of George Zimmerman. Stamina. That's not the first word that comes to mind.
Yeah, definitely. And Marion, who's the last
Fuck,
person?
Mary killed Walt Disney. Lou Bega.
Marion Lou Bega.
No, I fuck Lou Bega. You hear how many girls he was fucking in that song?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a wrench in it. All right, I'm gonna kill Lou Bega.
Oh, get out of my house.
All right, let's start with that. I'm gonna fuck George Zimmerman.
Good choice.
Alright.
Good choice.
He knows how to wield a weapon.
Yeah.
All right, and
God damn, that's edgy.
He knows how to use it.
and then I would marry Walt Disney
Well, that's
because I'm not above marrying for money.
Yeah.
Lou Bega's got some money. I'm okay with that amount.
At least Walt Disney's
Disney's got. I mean, he's a Jew.
He's got buku bucks.
He's a Jew. He's got all the money.
I thought didn't you say he hated Jews just a minute ago?
But it's so it's so hypocritical, right?
You gotta marry Lou
This is-
Bega and you gotta
so-
open up a
The
restaurant
man who's
with
got
him.
the money hates all the Jews.
Do you think Walt Disney has a little internalized depression? Is that what you're telling me?
Probably.
Okay, so tell me your thoughts on Internet 2.0. Remember that time in the internet where all the social media websites were updating to look all kind of fancy and sleek?
I forget what.
Yeah, that's Internet 2.0.
What's the year time?
Oh
frame?
God, let's say 2012, 2013. I don't know for
To
sure.
now?
To
I
now?
want to say it's when
Well, that's
like,
been
it
going
felt
on.
like Google was getting its hands into fucking everything.
Yeah,
Google
you're right.
bought YouTube, but Amazon bought Twitch, and Amazon bought fucking Whole Foods.
But
Yeah,
at least Google has like a decent approach towards things for the most part. Like they're for the most part doing good for people.
the Whole Foods thing. They lowered prices on shit at Whole Foods.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
particular, avocados
And
are
salmon.
only $2 at fucking Whole
Sick.
And
Foods.
salmon too. They lowered the price of fish
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
eat
gonna
fish,
go-
so I don't care.
for the wee many few.
We many few.
Yeah.
How can there be many of those few?
Yeah.
Really, that is
Shit,
one
I
of
gotta
those.
smoke on this. Give me a second.
Wow. That is one of life's many mysteries, it would appear.
Oh, real quick,
So,
before I forget, Ethan, you are a DJ.
that's correct.
And I was really curious, like, what gets you, like, into the creative process of, like, just doing the thing you do?
I don't know, it really depends on what it is. If it's, I also produce, and if it's kind of a show going on with the DJing, I essentially it's a lot of pressure to like make sure I don't fuck up essentially, and because I feel like I've grown a bit of a reputation not to fuck up now at this point. And
Have you fucked up?
no, never
Hell
once at a
yeah.
show really. Well, I mean, other than like small hiccups, but I've never really train wrecked a show. I'll have small hiccups where I misalign a loop or something like that, but besides that, those are really easily fixable in the mix, and you can just kind of get it out easily.
yeah.
But creative process wise, I think the pressure from shows kind of like keeps me on my toes, I guess. That's a good rhyme. But I oftentimes it's also the subject of the show or the kind of theme that's going on. So like, I really enjoy the kind of, I don't know, like there are certain sets that I look forward to really a lot, essentially, and I'll spend a lot of time and I'll just kind of put forth a lot of effort, and but it's oftentimes those are the types of sets where the music is just kind of flowing together really well, where I've just kind of like had an idea for the set, and I don't really restrict myself to like a certain genre, or just kind of let things be a little looser. And those are the kind of sets that like I'll just keep playing them over and over again because it's fun for me. Just keep practicing and getting all these mixes down and stuff like that. I did a set for one show in particular with some judges, and I wanted to really make sure that set was top notch, and so I just kind of took some popular music to start it off, and I mixed in just some stuff that I liked, and some stuff that really worked together well, and I kind of looked at other DJs, what they were doing. I watched a lot of the Red Bull Championship type of DJ shit. I just did like a lot of research on it, but I had such a good time doing it because I was totally unrestricted from like whatever genre I had to be in. Like I didn't have any genre lock on that essentially, so I just went from different genres, played different music that I liked. I played house music in the middle. I played some future bass, just like no restriction. It was just to show technical skill, and it was a really fun set to do, and I worked on that one for like a month and a half probably.
Oh, yeah. I've seen you at like a couple of your shows, and you look like you're just having a really, really fucking fun time while doing it.
You know,
that's so refreshing to see. It's so refreshing to see someone doing what they love.
Yeah, it's like, you know, playing shows is like my greatest joy, but also just one of the biggest things that gives me anxiety every day. When I think about an upcoming show, I think of just the expectations that has with it, and it really like right now I don't have any shows coming up, and it's a really relaxed kind of time for me, and I can just focus on other things. But when I do have a show coming up, it kind of restricts the things I can do, and I'm always thinking like, oh, I gotta be working on my set and stuff. But usually it comes together, and actually performing is really fun. Certainly performing with a crowd is the most rewarding, of course, and very rarely do I get a substantial crowd of any type. But there's been a few events I did. One I did recently, where I either had, it was just a big event, or I had just like an inadvertent audience there.
Yeah.
And people were really enjoying it regardless of the situation. But like, I've never done something, huge like at a big festival or anything. So that's when the DJing is most fun though, really, honestly. When you see a ton of people just dancing to your music, it's so empowering. It feels like you're just like controlling the whole room,
Yeah, because you are,
and you're blasting this like horrendously loud music at people,
painfully loud,
and it's like really, really tough. I don't know. It's really tough to be put in that position sometimes, but it's definitely very rewarding when you're finished with it.
Now, do you smoke before your shows or anything?
I don't smoke before my shows. Sometimes I smoke after, or occasionally at the show, but that's very rare. I don't really like to get high before my shows. Really, the only time I get high and work with music is if I'm practicing at home, or if I'm like producing occasionally. But even production, it can really stall production. It's good sometimes for getting the juices flowing and getting the creative ideas out there, but a lot of different I've read a lot about it, and in particular, like Ill Gates, who's an artist I really like, says not to smoke when you're producing, and so it's better if you don't, essentially.
That makes sense to me.
I couldn't imagine like totally producing just while completely ripped, you know.
Yeah, funny thing, first time I got high, I was like, man, oh, now, you know, this is going to be a great thing. You know, I've heard it helps people produce and stuff, and I got really high, and it was just like, I was not able to do fucking shit. I seriously, it was incapacitating my first few times. So yeah, but once you get used to it, it's okay. But but production, really, like, if you want to make a song sound good, you have to really like have a lot of attention to detail, and generally being high does not induce attention to detail.
Yeah, it must. I feel like it would be hard filling the space in a song, like just
that is
adding
the hardest part, is getting the mix on a song, essentially creating sound all the time that sounds good and is of high quality. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of it's a lot of work. I mean, that is something I've only recently come to respect and understand. And it takes a lot of skill and like learning, and I'm not like bragging or saying that I have a lot of skill, but I've been producing music for, you know, over 5 years now, so like it's definitely something you have to come to know, and there will be some times where, you know, the mix on a track isn't always I don't know, like if you have a lot of silent space, or if you don't have a lot going on in a track, doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. But what makes a track good is like just your ability to sample, like, you know, picking the right samples. That makes a track sound really good. And if you don't know what a sample is, it's essentially like almost any sound independent of like virtual instruments or like a synthesizer, you know, anything like that. But any sound that is used in a song, so like even drums, if you record a drum and then you put that in an electronic music program, and you use that drum and make more drums out of it, you're sampling that drum. So that sample selection is the thing that really is what will set the best producers apart from the you know, kind of the lower producers. Like, not lower in terms of, you know, they're bad people or anything, but they just lower quality.
yeah,
yeah,
experience or skill wise.
essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems difficult, like just watching it from completely not knowing viewpoint, just watching you produce. It's weird. It seems super foreign and like.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're looking at this weird alien grid, and it's just these like unidentifiable
colors.
Shapes. Yeah, and like, especially like if you're using like Ableton or Fruity Loops, both look really strange to the untrained eye.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I first started on Ableton, that was either, 2011, I think it was, and I was using Reason beforehand, and it was like I don't know, it was totally weird, and I didn't know how to sample anything properly. I didn't know. All I knew is that I figured out how to make the drum rack work in Ableton, and I figured out how to do like basic drums, and just like they sounded like absolute shit. But I didn't have any good samples, and I also didn't have the technical skill to like make them sound any better. I didn't do any I'm gonna say shit that you guys don't know, but like parallel compressing, which is essentially like you compress a sound. You know what compression is, right? Okay, for people who don't know what compression is, you compress a sound, and it essentially like takes out the highs and the really lows, and it makes everything a little bit more like in the mid, and so it kind of homogenizes the sound. So like when you do parallel compression, you play the uncompressed sound at the same time as the compressed sound, and then you can adjust it based on like dry, wet, or like whatever you want to do with it, and it just beefs up your drums essentially. And I just learned this.
That's pretty cool.
I just learned this recently.
Wow.
And like God, yeah, I forget what it was we were originally talking about.
Ableton producing.
I don't know.
Shit.
Forum that looks
Fuck, Marry,
to-
Kill. I don't know.
No.
Is that too far back?
Okay, wait.
That's way.
We're talking
way
about how
past
foreign
that.
the program looks to
Oh,
you
yeah,
as
okay.
an outside onlooker.
But so, like essentially, yeah. When I first came to Ableton, I just learned the drum rack and everything, and I just over the years had so many, like watched so many tutorials and stuff, and I've just learned through just fucking around with it by myself, just sitting down and being like, I'm gonna make a song. Like that's how you learn to do it. It's like art. It's which is so freaky, right? I learned I've learned another language as well, and it's kind of in a similar way. But I would say that learning a language is easier than learning to produce music.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I had less. I mean, I had more formal training.
For language?
Yeah. But I don't know. You have to like get a real feel for it. I guess if you were going for like formal training and you were really working your ass off to
Of course,
learn music,
to be fluent in a language and to be really good at learning music, like you're saying, you can also be really good at speaking a language.
yeah, definitely. And I'm like, I'm
It's
not
an
at the
art.
really good stage with either of those things. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. It was just a lot of self training, and you have like you get this doubt in yourself like that nothing you create will ever be good, and it is like the most vicious, like I don't know. It's really aggressive sometimes. Like
I'm sure any artist has that.
yeah,
for
yeah,
anything.
definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And it's you have to just really get through that because you're like, oh man, wow, you know, like this sounds like shit. Honestly, like you can be like, oh, I made this song. Oh, yeah, it's this cool song. I made this song that fucking sampled like this really terrible disaster where people were killed and stuff.
Oh my god.
Like, but it was funny.
Yeah.
But it sounded like shit. Like, obviously, it sounds like shit. But like, I don't know. You know, you go back and you look at that stuff, and you're like, I cannot believe how far I've come from that.
Yeah.
And how like that at the time that was my best.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's.
That was
I
the
don't
highest
know.
For me, as like an artist that draws, like I'll like take some of my old drawings sometimes, like at the time what I thought was like the best that I could do, and I'll like redraw it, and I'll be like, oh shit, that's shit now.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm disgusted I ever thought that was good.
I know, I feel you. That's definitely like, and I know for artists, like for visual artists, I can't even imagine what it's like. Okay, my problem with like when I was trying to learn visual arts is that when I learned electronic music, when you fucking like learn the shit, you create kind of shitty stuff, but it feels like at least you fucking made something. Like when I can't even believe people who do visual arts, like how they can suffer through that, because when you draw bad, you're like, I'm drawing bad. like you know it.
Yeah.
You're like, and even when you draw good, you think you're drawing bad still.
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing that I think is a similarity between the two, many arts, is that even when you're doing really good, you have nothing to judge against.
That's why for me, when like I want to really draw something good, I make sure I'm like really feeling it, that I'm like pouring myself into it.
I totally understand that, and like I don't know, like I can. Here's the funny thing, right? Okay, a lot of people get this artistic inspiration and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've seen in the best artists, is that they don't do that. That is not something they do.
They kind of just let loose.
They do. Well, no, they don't just let loose. They just they make it their job. They sit in front of their computer for like 4 or 5 hours, and they're like, "I'm gonna fucking work on music right now."
They make it happen.
Like if you see like Alan Moore does that shit, and he's streamed himself doing it, and it's incredible. You see literally just this dude sitting there in the darkness, and every once in a while you hear like this shit out of his speakers. You're like, what the fuck is he doing? But like, it's just like this guy in the far end of the room. He does this on purpose, so it looks fucking creepy. But like that, who I was talking about before, Il Gates. He does videos about it, and he essentially is like, there's a time when you may feel creative and it's important to produce in that time and stuff, but like, you have to do 2 different stages of preparation for creating music. Well, 1 stage of prep and 1 stage of actually working on it. So the stage of prep is essentially like, if you have some ideas about what you might want to make in the future, you need to prep it so that you can be successful when you do that. So like, you need to go in and you need to create a new file, and you need to like put maybe a selection of drums, all of the effects that you're going to use, just lay them out and shit, and just like, all the stuff, all the normal process stuff, cut out that process so that when you are being creative, you can get it out as fast as possible.
I get that.
And the other stage, the other thing he talks about is just like, even if you're not like feeling creative or anything, you just have to like sit down in front of it and like grind it out.
You know who does that? Aaron does that.
Really?
Like, yeah, he's like, he dedicates like 4 hours to just drawing on his tablet.
That's so
like,
good.
Like, and
that's important.
I've seen Aaron's stuff, and he's become a great artist.
You're gonna have to show that to me. I really haven't seen it yet. But like, and it's like, why would it? But here's the thing, like, why would it be any different? Why for, like, it's like the same as like somebody who learns piano, they sit there and they practice like relentlessly, and they go on to fucking, you just have to evolve in your skill, like, and it's really tough to dedicate that time. So I've been yapping for a while.
It's okay. That's what podcasts are about.
Yeah.
I wish I had, I don't know, just like.
Okay, so you guys know what podcasts do you guys like to listen to?
I don't think. Well, I'm not sure if Alec listens to any podcasts.
You guys ever listen to podcasts? Okay, so I'm gonna talk about one in particular. Okay. It's kind of fun. Sword and Scale. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good podcast.
Recently had an episode that I'm gonna spoil this Sword and Scale episode just right now. Okay, so if you are into Sword and Scale,
I don't think anyone would.
Okay, I don't think anybody is, but if you are,
just fuck it.
I'm gonna fucking spoil the shit out of this right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so dude, there's a couple, right? Okay, in the most recent Sword and Scale episode, and they're friends with this guy, and they've been friends with this guy since high school, and it's like our high school friend that essentially. Okay, it's like in terms of like just their friendship and like hanging out all the time, and they're really reliable people, and they've been kind of supporting each other. The friend of the couple, he he what is the friend of the couple thing? Oh, okay, so yeah. So he works at the political consulting company that the woman in the couple works at. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to remember names, but I can't.
No, you don't need to.
It's upsetting. I wanted to though. But so whatever. So let's call the woman Carrie.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna be totally wrong.
Yeah.
But Carrie, and I think the friend's name was Nation. Well, let's be funny, Carrie Nation. Okay.
Carrie Nation.
And then, actually, the guy's name is I don't know the dude, the husband's name. Let's just call him Matt because I also forget that one. Okay, so fucking Nation is friends with these people for a long time, and they're just really good friends. They go on vacations together, okay, and they're just doing all this shit together. Best as friends as you could be, okay. He was Matt's best man at his wedding. He was
That nigga just left.
why did he leave?
I don't know. Oh shit.
You can feel
So back now. Matt's best friend. Nation. Yeah, okay. So Nation's best friends with this couple, right? Okay. And like super good friends, just all the good stuff. And they're not like banging or anything, but you know, it could be, I guess.
Yeah, they
I
could
don't know.
be.
They don't detail that. But so and then Nation starts getting sick, right? And so Matt and Carrie are like, you know, kind of taking care of their friend. He still works at the law firm. And
Damn. How do you spell that?
but he still works at not the law firm, the political consulting company with the lady. But he's getting sick and he's having to like go to doctor's appointments, and then he like comes in crying one day and they're like, "What's up, dude? What's up?" And he's like, "Oh, guys, they diagnosed me with multiple sclerosis." Sclerosis. Thank you. Multiple sclerosis. That's a good one. So they diagnosed me with that shit, and they're like, "Oh my god, my friend, I'm so sorry." And so they're like, "We'll do anything we have to." And
Nation.
Nation was the friend who's got the multiple sclerosis diagnosis.
Yeah,
So
dying nation.
oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. So
2017 joke.
So wow, that really
That
it really is a
hits home, man.
stretch. It's a lot of build up for that joke as well.
Yeah.
But so he gets that, and he gets MS, and they start taking him to appointments, and like also. He's got other people taking him to appointments that are like their family friends.
Is Nation a boy or a girl?
Nation's a guy.
Oh, okay.
Nation's
The couple
man.
has a guy friend.
Yeah, they have a guy friend.
Okay.
So
yeah.
man,
Nation's
baby.
the dude, bro.
Yeah, he's a dude, and so there's Matt, Carrie, and Nation, and and after a while, he's like, "Oh, well, like my treatments aren't really working very well, and I'm like not feeling good." And he says he's got to go in for the surgery, and so they take him in for the surgery, and then like he comes back, and like rests in their guest room for a week and stuff, and this guy was just like not doing well, and then he said like he went in for another appointment, and they said that they like found something, and they think it might be pancreatic cancer, and so they're like, so the couple's like, "Oh man, our friend might die.
Oh shit.
Our friend might die," and the other thing that they're thinking is, we should have a child so that our child can meet our friend before he dies. Okay, so one day, you know, he eventually gets really sick, and he leaves this job, and he ends up going to another company, and that was basically just like, I don't know, more suited for him or something, and he's just keeping up this cancer diagnosis shit. They take him for like a 2-hour doctor's appointment where they were just waiting in the lobby for 2 hours. And then one day the husband Matt comes home, and husband Matt goes upstairs and goes to change and starts hearing screaming. Okay, and he's like, what? And he's like running to them, and he's hearing his wife screaming, and he's like, what's going on? And she's like, he's trying to kill me. And he goes down and like fucking his dude friend Nation, oh yes, it fucking is like stabbing the shit out of her.
Oh,
okay, with a knife in the stomach. Okay.
Get
And-
that cancer out of there!
And like, no.
He's stabbing the
cancer guy was stabbing the lady.
Matt's wife.
Oh,
The friend.
That's right.
And he's fucking stabbing her. And then he tries to kill the guy. He tries to kill Matt.
Oh no.
And Matt runs to a neighbor,
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah.
And I think he actually picks up his wife or whatever, like somehow gets her out of there. And they go over to a neighbor's house and they call 911, and they're like, and people are like putting pressure on her wounds, and she's like fading away and shit, and like it's really upsetting.
Yeah.
And this was a really triggering episode of this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
But like this crazy shit, they just found out that this dude like essentially was like wanted to murder them, and she dies from that, obviously.
Yeah.
And apparently the police like come over to get him, and he's like slashed his wrists and like seppuku'd himself. Like no shit. Like, right? But he's alive!
But wait, there's more!
So they arrest him and get him help.
Oh shit! They arrest him. They're like, "Sorry, sir.
Good try.
His intestines, the cop was like, his intestines are falling out. So they goddamn arrest him, and they give him medical help, and they try and save the Carrie lady, but she dies. And friggin', what happens after that? Oh yeah, so they come to find out, no shit, that this motherfucker lied about all of his illnesses. Okay, just literally everything. All the doctor's appointments, the 2-hour doctor's appointment that they took him to, that they're sitting there, all he was doing was fucking walking around the hospital while they were sitting there.
Oh.
The guy lied about all this shit. Like, the surgery that he sat in bed for a week in their guest room and recovered from was bullshit. It never happened. And then, on top of that, this Nibba, alright, this guy fucking, like, embezzles like $46,000 from her company.
Oh my god!
And the reason he was over there that day was to like go over finances on the company, because he was an accountant at the company that the lady ran.
Yeah.
And he embezzled like $46,000 of campaign funds from this fucking one campaign. And she was about to figure this out, essentially. She was about to figure this out, essentially, and she because a check had bounced from their account, and it was only like $500 like cable check or something like that.
Damn.
And they're like, "Oh, check shouldn't have bounced. We have like $46,000."
Yeah.
Well, fucking fuckboy left the goddamn account overdrawn by $3,000.
Oh my god.
And then the other thing, they go to him and they're like, "Did you want to kill? Like, why did you do this?" He's like, "I don't know." And it's like, "Do you think that they would have, like, made a big deal about it? Like, do you think that they would have understood your lies if you had just come clean to them? Probably, because, you know." And he's like, "Yeah, probably." And they're like, "Was this motivated by the embezzlement?" And he's like, "No. I don't know why I did it." He's like, "Oh, it was so crazy." And
This actually happened?
this
Yeah.
actually happened. All this shit I'm telling you.
Whoa! Shit.
This is
Yeah.
real.
This podcast, basically the premise of it all is
It's true crime.
true crimes that have happened. there was an episode about a 911 responder, and
so good.
the whole process of events was they called 911. This mom reports in that she's killed her kids, and she's super stone-faced about it, and she's like, I killed my kids. I don't know what I'm going to do. And she eventually starts, like, understanding the reality of everything. And then her mom comes to the house, and then her mom picks up the phone, and the 911 responder has to hear her mom react to the dead kids in the room.
Oh my God.
That was crazy.
How her whole life is just fucking crashing down. And it's,
Yeah, that was a good
horrible.
fucking episode.
yeah, that was
That
crazy.
was a good one.
Yeah.
We lighten this up, little
Yeah,
boy.
yeah.
So, there's like there's another one where there's like this really bad incidence of road rage, and these people follow another car home, and then they get out. Like the guy who was following the other car gets out, and the guy who was in the other car gets out, and the guy who was following them fucking shoots the dude. But the craziest thing about this event is that there was 911 calls happening from both perspectives. So from the wife of the guy who got shot, she was like, I think in the house or like near the house, like that he was about to go into, and
She was in the car, I think.
and the wife of the other guy was in the car.
Ah, right.
The wife of the shooter was in the car, and they were both calling 911 at the same time.
Oh my
And so you
God.
hear both of their like reactions of like the lady whose husband just got shot and shit, and that's really crazy. But okay, in conclusion of the cancer guy story of Nation or whatever,
Cancer Nation.
he ends up they go to the judge with that shit. Obviously, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. He murdered people, and the judge is like, he sentences him first to life, then to 110 to 150 months, and then to another 75 months to be served consecutively for assault with a deadly weapon, attempted murder, and first degree murder, premeditated first degree murder, nonetheless, because he had bought the knife 3 weeks before.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, moral of the story: don't stab your friends.
Buy your murder
And
weapon.
watch fucking Sword and Scale.
Buy your
man.
murder weapon with cash.
Yeah, really. Jeez. Yeah, really. I know. Yeah, really. How'd that goof up before on me?
Yeah. Oh, shit, there was a camera there? God,
Man, some of the shit, man. Have you heard about the Ember's Ghost Squad person? Do you know about that?
Mm.
Okay, well, funny backstory to this. This is actually a thing that was kind of memey on Tumblr because it was so atrociously bad. It was this like show that was essentially Danny Phantom, like character models. Like the art style was Danny Phantom essentially, but they just like they took models from it, and they also took one character who was the main character of the show, Ember, and it's all in the style of this Danny Phantom, and essentially it's just like really edgy and shitty jokes and just like this super bad animation that is not good. And the person who made them, his name is Jeff, I think.
The name, yeah.
His name Jeff. But he fucking went into a goddamn supermarket and shot it up and killed 4 people, and like it was crazy.
But
And then he killed himself.
He was the author of this comic?
He was the creator of this animation series.
Oh my
And it was really bad, and like he was like he left this huge log of like video logs of just explaining why he's gonna kill people, and also like how much he hates his life. What the fuck? And it's like 8 hours of content or something like that. But yeah, and that was a meme on Tumblr for how bad it was.
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, man. It's really a bad sitch. And then the other thing, the funny thing that happened, well, not really funny. None of this is all ultimately funny, but fucking Jeffree Star. That was the name of the person, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star fucking shot up this supermarket on the day that James Comey was being interviewed, testifying, which meant that it got no news coverage in any way, shape, or form, essentially, other than like small rags. So like, pretty much the person just shot up the place for fucking nothing. They got nothing in the end.
That's fucked.
I know, right?
But that's how psychopaths work, really. They just do shit just
That's how
because.
psychopaths work, man.
Yeah, it's just how
psychopaths do, bro.
Just do shit just because.
I met my first share of psychopaths.
My line of work.
What
What were you saying, Caleb?
Oh, I was saying, time-wise, we are approaching the 40-minute mark. You wanted to switch to your topic real quick?
Oh, the Schmongel show?
Okay.
Yeah, we should
let's talk about
finish it out. That's a better,
All right,
happier topic.
Besides
So
murder.
switching gears, what is a spangle?
A Schmongel is a man.
What kind of man is spangle?
It's two men, actually. It's this dude named Simon Posford.
Can I trust him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I
you
trust
can
him
trust.
with my life, yeah.
I trust Simon Posford more than most politicians.
Yeah. If you ran the country, I would.
Man,
Yeah.
I'd fucking trust my cat more than most politicians. I don't trust that nigga worth shit.
That's true.
And this Indian dude, he's like 93 years old. His name's Roger Ram. He's not actually 93. He's fucking old.
God, he's old.
And they make psychedelic music together, and Spangle is the it's just the artist.
It's
but,
essentially the group.
yeah,
That's what it is.
the group. And I saw Spangle with Ethan in Denver, Colorado. And it wasn't just Spangle, it was Ott, it was the Desert Dwellers, and this one dude that played during a alien fashion show.
Who the fuck knows?
They had male and female
Man, fuck
and
that guy.
trans fucking models.
It was really interesting.
That was really cool.
We got really up close for that.
Yeah, we were really close to the stage for that. But that Spangle show was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of EDM artists. I got to see this show in Arizona in 2011 that had, what was it? Oh, had literally, this was the lineup: Skrillex, Zedd, Porter Robinson, Inner Party System, who most people don't know, and some other local guy.
alert.
Well, I mean, do you really want to know about fucking industrial pop electro? Like,
No.
yeah, exactly. Like, Inner Party
edgy
System's
as shit.
good, but it's edgy as shit, and it's like not appealing to most people. But besides that, like, the Spangle show is definitely like the coolest thing I've even ever been to. Honestly, like maybe I can't think of anything I've ever done that was that cool besides maybe going to other countries. It felt like going to another country, but essentially, like, there was just so much stuff to do. Like, there were activities set up, there were art auctions,
There was VR in the middle that you could do, that you could line up for. Well, I guess before all this, an 8-hour drive from where we are to Denver, it sucks.
Oh, yeah.
And on the way there, the truck broke down.
Our car broke down.
shit.
Yeah, it
And we
sucked.
stopped an hour outside of Denver, and we were like, fuck.
Damn. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
We were getting to the point where we were like, do we go home? Do we just
Yeah.
go home?
Yeah.
Like, no, we're fucking 2 hours from Denver, and it's fucking Spangle.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
other chance are you gonna
We
get
gotta
to see
do it for
Spangle?
Spangle, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we went
Hell yeah.
and got some edibles before the show.
Damn.
Took some edibles.
Sounds like it was a great time.
And
Yeah.
it was amazing.
I got way too
It was
high
the
at the show.
loudest show I've ever been
Oh,
to.
it was unbearably loud. It was incredibly well mixed, except for the highs were a bit piercing. But the mix was really good. Otherwise, it just sounded really good. The bass was soul shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's this one artist, Ott, that played at that show, and his music just doesn't. It's not the same as it was at that show. Like when you listen to it by itself, and that's just like the first time I've ever really like thought that with an artist, I guess. But unless you get like some serious bass behind his music, it's not the same.
Yeah.
With if you give it the bass it deserves, it's so fucking good.
Yeah,
And then, really long form, very psychedelic.
It was like a
EDM.
5 or 6 hour show.
Yeah, it was so long. It was awesome. I had such fun. Colorado's a great state. This has been a Stoner Bros episode 3 podcast.
Whoa. Hang on.
Oh,
All
sorry.
right. Well, yeah, I guess we should be wrapping it up because we are approaching we're at 46 minutes. Well, Ethan, it has been wonderful having you on the podcast.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Smoking with you and everything. All right. Thank you, everyone who stayed around, listened, and everything. And you guys all have a good night.
Adios.